Evil unmasks who we are. We're not animals, we have the power to reflect. We're not machines, we have the power to choose. Thirdly, evil tells us we're not demons. Because demons don't have the moral capacity to serve, to do good. Now, some people do believe in demons and Satan and so on. I heard of an English language student who was learning about the different kinds of government, and he said a theocracy is ruled by God, an aristocracy is ruled by aristocrats, a plutocracy is ruled by wealth, and a democracy is ruled by demons. That was a play on words. Now, people may act like demons, your husband may act like a demon, but he's not a demon. He can be possessed by a demon. We have demoniacs and we have people who worship demons, but you're not a demon. Because demons don't have the capacity to show moral sympathy, empathy, and emotional anguish over pain. Demons also want you to deny that evil is universal. And if you're aware of sophisticated philosophical systems, sometimes called postmodernism, which says that all truth is simply based on language created by local realities. Now, that is not true when it comes to evil. There's 100,000 people who die out of an earthquake, or 100,000 people die of a flood. That is not local reality. The whole world knows that it is indeed true, and thereby provides us the possibility that there are meta-narratives and mega-narratives that affect all people everywhere, regardless of space and time. Actually, demons want you to deny that there is something like God because of the reality of evil. They don't want you to acknowledge God in the guise that he could have controlled and stopped evil at any time. Actually, that does not work that easily. I was with a Hungarian atheist some time ago, a self-proclaimed one. He said to me, he believes there's no God because of all the evil in the world. I said, what do you mean by evil? He says, don't you think catching babies at the end of bayonets is evil? I said, yes, I think it is evil, but why do you call it evil? As he was groping for an answer, I pressed him. For you to call something evil, sir, is to assume a standard, an ultimate standard of morality and justice and good. And only if you assume an ultimate standard of good can you call something evil. Now, if you don't assume an ultimate standard of good, which I hold to be as a God, then you don't have any case to make for evil at all as standing against God. And he understood, looked at me and said, apparently I've assumed that unless you have an ultimate standard of good, you don't have evil. That's exactly right. Now, demons, because they cannot emotionally experience anguish over pain, they don't serve anybody. They actually intensify and multiply evil. I am very glad that the AIDS medical community has advanced rather rapidly in trying to find the vaccine for this dastardly disease, just like we did for smallpox and malaria. It's wonderful to know that people are working to alleviate food problems and water problems and hunger problems all over the world. You and I, we can serve, find a place to serve. But demons don't have the power to serve. Evil unmasks who we are. We're not animals. We feel intellectual pain. We're not machines. We feel moral conflict. We're not demons. We have the power to serve. We feel emotional pain. Evil exposes our humanness. Evil also shows us that we are not angels. Now, your wife may on occasion act like an angel, but she is not an angel. Angels and humans have a big disparity. Angels live in their heaven, where there is no tear, no death, no anxiety, and you live on the earth, where you face the mystery of evil. Angels don't feel physical pain. We do. We mourn, we groan, we cry, we die. The biggest difference, however, between angels and human beings in terms of evil is that we have the power to err, to do wrong, to sin, to destroy. Did you notice that the most advanced of all centuries, the 20th century, was also the bloodiest of all centuries? The 21st century has begun, but it doesn't sound very promising either. Because the whole world is made up of people like you and me who can do wrong. Nobody taught you to do wrong. There's an inside nature which makes you unlike angels who can't do any wrong. Evil exposes your sinfulness. It asks you to identify yourself as one who can and does and has done wrong. Finally, evil, in exposing our humanness, tells us that we are not God. I'm sure sometimes you think of yourself as God and you want others to worship you, but you and I are not God. Because God seems so oblivious to the human situation. He's sitting in his heaven, drinking his own blend of coffee, and he doesn't seem to care about us. He seems impotent or immoral or ignorant or in some way distant from us. You see, if God were to solve the human problem, he'll have to become one of us to provide meaning in the middle of all this chaos so that we can face the mystery of evil. But that's where I have some news for you. Because evil not only unmasks who we are, evil unmasks who God is. May I point you to the Lord Jesus Christ, who not only claimed to be God, but went through the full range of human experience. He faced intellectual pain, and when his disciples asked him about why people suffered, he said it was not because of his or his parents' suffering, it was because of the glory of God. He faced moral options. He was tempted in every point and tested like we are, but he was sinless. He lived a sinless life. He faced and addressed emotional anguish. At the tomb of his beloved friend, he snorted and he cried because his friend had died before raising him from the dead. He faced and addressed physical pain. Many of you are aware that he was brutalized on the cross. That he died in the most brutal then known form of capital punishment. Decapitation without protests, because he was facing physical pain. Because God became man to face human pain, Jesus was solving the credibility problem of God. You see, Jesus was not some kind of an abstract, generic God against whom you can levy those charges of irrelevance and ignorance and impotence. He came down to be one of us so he can experience human pain and thereby establish credibility. But he went beyond that. He not only experienced human pain for credibility, he gained the ultimate victory to give us the promise of a death-free, tear-free environment forever. How did he do that? He raised himself from the dead in the only verifiable self-resurrection in all history. Because he experienced pain, he has credibility with us. Because he raised himself from the dead to give us victory forever, we have confidence in him. Facing the mystery of evil, he was tempted in all points, went through everything that we do. He experienced great pain, so that you and I will never accuse God of being unconcerned or irrelevant. You see, evil unmasks who we are. It tells us we are humans. But evil unmasks who God is. It tells us that it's the Lord Jesus Christ. I'll be right back.